In this video, we're going to go over deploying our code using GitHub Pages. And so once again, we've already ran npm run script build, and we saw this warning here that, for example, to build this for GitHub Pages, we have to make some changes. We have to add this line to our package.json to configure the server root. So I'm just going to copy the sample code here, highlight that, Control C, and then within my hospital data directory, so within your create React app directory, there will be a package.json. And I like to just tuck this in at the top, all right, underneath names. We'll just paste that in. And so the home page will be configured. This is going to be your GitHub username. So it's my name in this case. And then where it says my app, it's going to be whatever repository you create that you're going to deploy. And so what I'm going to show you, we're going to use a completely separate repository to deploy this. And so this is just going to be hospital, if I can spell, hospital pricing is going to be the name of that repo. So leetrout.github.io/hospital pricing. And so I'll hit save on that, and it's actually going to be HTTPS. So we'll save that. And then I'm just going to run this again, npm run script build. So we can delete this directory. I'm just going to delete the build directory, move to recycle bin, and then npm run script build. It's not necessary to delete it, but I like to just start clean. Perfect. Once that's done, there's a few options here. You can read what it says. Build folder is ready to be deployed. You can publish it. There's a GH Pages script that will help you do that. I am not using that tool in this video. You're welcome to go read on how the GH Pages, the application around that works. But we're just going to do this manually. So we'll just open a new tab here, and we will go to github.com. And so once again, referencing what we have here in the home page, we need to create a repository with this name, whatever you put after that last slash, hospital-pricing. So I'm just going to do new repository. So leetrout/hospital-pricing. And I'll just say this is my hospital pricing project pages. And it's public, and we can initialize this with a README. That's fine. So we'll just check that box and click Create Repository. Once the repository is created, we want to go to Settings, and then scroll down on the main Settings page, and you'll get to GitHub Pages. And so the source here, we pick a branch that we want, and so we just say use the master branch, so source branch, and the page reloads, and we scroll down, and we now see your site is ready to be published at http://leetrout.com/hospital pricing. And so I've already configured my GitHub Pages to use my domain. Your GitHub Pages won't use your own domain, so you'll still need to use the other URL. And let's see, I believe we can turn this back to leetrout.github.io. Save. Oh, it's not going to let me use it. So my example is going to be a little different than yours. I'm just going to click and open this. You can see hospital pricing pages. It's just deployed this for me. And so for me to make this work, I'm going to have to copy this and go backwards. And so I will just drop in my homepage. I will run build again. And now that my build is complete, the rest of these steps will be the same. So I apologize, I forgot I'd set up my custom domain. So I go to clone or download this repository. Just click the little clipboard right here. So we want to copy that URL. And then I am going to make an entirely new directory here. So I'm just going to go up to my home directory, and I'll just do a new folder. And this will be my hospital pages deploy. So wherever works for you, just create a new folder there. And then here in Windows, we can right click and do open with code. But you can also just go into Visual Studio Code, and we're going to do new window, and we're going to do file, open folder. And I just want to open that folder that I just created. And once that folder is open, we're going to do terminal, new terminal. And so we're going to do git clone, paste in that URL we copied, space, and then a trailing period. And that means clone that repository into the directory I'm in. Don't create a new directory. And so we can see this README popped up here, which is fine. And so at this point, we want to have that folder open. So there's the same folder we just opened here within Visual Studio Code. And then we want to open our build folder as well. And so that's in our hospital data project. In my case, I go into my Create React App directory. There's the build folder. I go into the build folder, copy all the contents here, Control C, and paste them into the repository here, Control V. Now I go back to Visual Studio Code, just so we have access to the terminal. And I can do git status, and we can see I have all these new files. So I'll just do git add dot git commit -m add initial site files, and we'll git push. Once those have been pushed, we can come here, refresh the page. We can see that our files are present here in the repository, and we can come over and refresh our page. I may need to, again, my site is going to be set up different than yours. I'm going to click on README. I'm going to hit the trash can on this, delete the README file, and commit changes. I believe by getting rid of that README, that should change my hosting. And now my index.html is rendering. So if you see your README contents being displayed, you just delete that README, and now you can see it renders my index.html file. Again, that works because the URL that this page is hosted at was plugged into I've got two VS Code windows open here, homepage attribute in my package.json. Of course, at this point, you will want to commit those changes to your project. So that covers two different ways. This is the second video. So two different ways you can deploy your project. Use GitHub Pages, or you can use S3. Both of these work because our data is static and included within our application. Our data is not, there's no server-side JavaScript files that are being called that need to react dynamically to requesting our data. So if you're making client-side requests to an API or a third-party website for data, that'll still continue to work. However, if you have built something with a server.js file, you will have to use hosting that supports running Node.js, and your options there include Heroku, as well as spinning up your own server on a service like DigitalOcean.